This is going to be another emotional one. I'm not confident I know how to talk about this book, but I need to talk about this book. Swollening by Jason Purcell. It is a book of poems, and it is beautiful and harrowing and grotesque and brilliant and unconventional, and it has blown me away for the last 2 weeks that I've spent reading this. It's a book of poetry, so it's a thin little volume. It's 109 pages, but I have had to savor this in a way I have savored few books that I've read in the last few years. The brilliant thing about Swollening is that Jason is able to articulate something that I think goes unarticulated for a lot of people. Not just the emotional manifestations of swallowing your feelings, swallowing trauma, but the physical manifestation of doing that. How it transforms your mind, how it transforms your body, how it transforms your entire experience. And it is something that cannot be diagnosed like an illness, but it impacts you like an illness. So people have a hard time treating other people like they're dealing with something, that they're carrying something, that they're moving through some kind of illness or some kind of grief, because they can't see it, they can't diagnose it, they can't label it. But Jason takes homophobia, heteronormativity, internalized hatred, anxiety around being queer, anxiety around sex, anxiety around desires you're told you're not supposed to have. And they talk about it using language of the body, language of the grotesque, words like throat and swallow and teeth and zipper, just normal words you use all the time and not really think about, putting them in a different context, zooming in on them, restricting them, twisting them, and attaching them to experiences that are harrowing and scary and anxiety-inducing and unfair that some people have to go through. But what I love most about this book is how it addresses how you internalize trauma physically. I think a lot of people understand or can wrap their head around getting through past trauma mentally, emotionally. For people who haven't gone through these sorts of things, I think it can be hard to understand how that manifests, how it gets lodged, how you inhabit those feelings physically, and that stays within your nervous system. And getting through past trauma is not just about mentally or emotionally forgiving yourself. It's about working through your body to allow your body to forgive itself for things you've held on to, for lies you've allowed yourself to believe, and to do all this with the poetry of pain and illness. It's brilliant. It's such a unique take on this experience. It is just genius. For the sake of transparency, I do know Jason personally. They're a very, very good friend of mine, but please do not use that as a factor. I swear there's so little bias going on here. The only bias that's involved is that it was really fascinating to read poetry written by a good friend of mine. I've never really done that before. And for sure, it adds a level of intimacy and beauty and understanding for this person that I love so much. But these are speaking to experiences that are so far beyond Jason's own. These are uniquely articulated, but these are experiences that are in no way unique to Jason. While I have you here, I just want to talk about a couple of different pieces in it, because there are so many poems and lines that just blow me away. I just want to talk about a couple of them. There's a poem called Earring, and it's about Jason coming home with an earring for the first time and talking to their father and knowing how big that moment is. They're this kid that is afraid that they're gay, or afraid to admit that they're gay at the time, just walking into this room as an open wound, knowing that this is one of those moments where they're confronting this moment publicly with their father, and how their father reacts to this is such an important moment. We never could hear one another, perched on the side of your bed, where I tried to be understood as much as I understood myself at that age, and failing. Neither of us could move beyond the syllable. It trapped us. I could not even say it myself, but you could see the wounds all over me. Oh, here, oh, another, counting the spoiled fruit That is such a waste. Time sharpened in all directions and still stays sharp. Finally, my father says, enough. All he wants is to know that he can. And the long exchange ends, with us holding only what we brought in the first place. Nothing has changed hands. We are both still wringing our fears. A good father says, you are my son, and reaches across to touch the burning wound. This is from a poem that's called, I think, Chekhovich's Teeth. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Baby tooth gouged and split right where the filling was. Dead dentin, cavity, and a sick thrill from touching the sharp evidence of my neglect toward my body and my hand, pressing its edge into my skin until it cut through. A realization that I let myself rot rather than nurture my aliveness, my belonging here. And then it goes on to say, the persistent presence in my mental dental life is a reminder that I will continue to pay for my inability to take care of myself. And then this is from possibly my favorite poem in the whole collection. It's called Inadequate Insurance. Having to perform your own extraction, suck up your own oil, claw out your own coal, grinding your own tooth all the way through the nerve, and wipe the blood from your own infected gums, and then pay for it all, and keep paying. What it costs can vary. You can pay for hands in the mouth. You can pay for interference with your body. To fix a problem you were designed to inherit. That's nice. That siren is the police coming to get me because I'm gonna go fucking kill all the people who ever made Jason feel like this. I'm so proud of Jason for this. Like, there's one thing to read your friend's book and be happy for them and to appreciate it and to learn something new about them, and all of those things are here. But I'm also just so proud of them for this. This book makes a contribution, which is one of the biggest compliments I think you can give a book. It's making a contribution to a larger conversation. It's saying something really meaningful to a lot of people, and I can't wait for people to read it. I think a lot of people are gonna get a lot from this. I think they're gonna find this really healing, but I also think they're gonna find it very harrowing at times. It is something that will bring up past traumas if you've gone through them before, I would imagine. But if you're ready to do some therapy, if you're ready to do some digging, if you are ready to examine and excavate some parts of yourself that still need some work, please read Swollening. It's beautiful. If you can, order it from Glass Bookshop, which is the bookshop that Jason co-owns. It's wonderful. Glassbookshop.ca. I swear to God, this is not... I swear to God, no one paid me to do this. This is promotion I'm giving up freely. It's so good. I hope you read it. I hope you enjoy it. If you read it, I know you'll enjoy it. My name is Rick. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye.